What is up, gamers? I, the People's Machine, coming back at you with another exciting episode of the Gaming Roundtable. As you can see here, the long awaited throwback to Warhammer Week, Spacehulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition version 2.43, based in the Warhammer 40k universe. That's right, Warhammer 40k universe. And before I get into that, I want to thank everybody this year for just being, for watching the videos, for just doing all that, just wonderful things to, let's just do that. Okay, that's good right there. And just for everybody tuning in, everybody that's following here on the PlayStation Network, just everybody in general, just everybody's been really good and have been doing, has been tuning in. I appreciate everybody that has been subscribing to Unpaid Gamers. I want to thank Posthuman Guy and Bandloss for doing the vids themselves. And I know that the end of the year is kind of crazy, a lot going on with families and stuff. I knew my videos would be sporadic, but family is more important. And of course, everybody knows that this time of year. We got New Year's coming up, and hopefully 2021 will be a better year for everyone. Hopefully they put the pandemic on squash and lockdown and get that fixed. But more importantly, well, maybe not more importantly, but also on that same token, hopefully it will be a better year for gaming. You know, a little over 100 different titles came out this year, which is actually less than normal. Thanks to the pandemic and stuff, we had a lot of high-profile titles. But I want to make a quick announcement. Posthuman Guy and myself will be doing a year in review. We're going to be talking about all the different things that happen in the industry and cover different stories. Some I may have already covered on my channel, or some he may have covered on his. We want to talk about the highs and the lows, and believe me, there was a hell of a lot of lows. And it doesn't seem that the AAA gaming industry seems to can't get it. We're also going to talk about the toxic community that just basically hates everything that gets released. If it isn't perfect and there's one little thing wrong with something, oh boy, they just have just the biggest bunch of shit fit. And I want to talk about those guys, because those are the people that bringing everyone down in general with the gaming community. But that is for that video. But there's an announcement coming up where I'm going to try to get the video out. It may be after the new year. So if it's already 2021 and we're going to talk about 2020, then that's probably what it's going to be looking like. Planned on doing that tonight, just didn't happen that way. And that's okay, because, you know, we all have lives to lead and not always get what we can do. And I am going to show you Spacehulk Deathwing, which I kind of affectionately call it the Doom of the Warhammer games, and you'll see why. And I have showcased this a couple years back, or a year ago or so, when it came out. And I want to talk a little bit about this, and we're going to continue this campaign. I do not want to start a new one. I did that on my previous video when I was still under the PSN tag JuiceMan3941. You can look up that. But I am now the People's Machine, because that was my stage name for many years, and I'm glad to change over. And that's, I feel more comfortable with, and I've already discussed that. So without further ado, let's show you some Spacehulk Deathwing. And I'm going to tell you before, if you do decide to pick up this game or you do own it, it's best played with the lights off, the volume up on your headphones. It's got very good 3D spatial sound, and it's really excellent, and it's generally creepy to play through. This is not a hyper stylized Doom like the new Dooms from 2018 or 2016, and then the new ones or whatever, which are very fast paced and all. This is more a methodical first person shooter with RPG elements and some tactical like elements, but we'll get into that. So let's hit a continue here, and it's going to load here, and I'm on the next chapter.
In the heart of the Spacehulk. After finding out that Squad Gideon had been slain, we fought a horde of Xenos as we conducted investigatory missions to uncover this enigmatic vessel from our dark and distant past. The Deathwing moved to secure entry into the old ship while we overcame the energy and psychic defenses created by the Gene Stealers. Hard fought was the battle, but the bridgehead had been established, and progress to our objectives continued. We are the Emperor's Blade.
Yes, they are the Emperor's Blade indeed. And I do have the volume set low at 50% on everything so that you can still hear me talk. So I can kind of go over a little bit about this game. I wanted to showcase this game during Warhammer Week, and a lot of stuff. It was a very busy week. I wasn't able to do all the games, and I own all of them. But I did show you all the Warhammer Quest 2, Vermintide 2, Blood Bowl. I showed you all Warhammer Chaos Bane, Warhammer 40,000 Death Watch. And I didn't get the chance to show you Inquisitor or this game, and I want to show you those two still. And I know it took a while to get here, and so this is kind of a throwback to Warhammer Week. So I'm very much apologize for not doing it that week, but it was pretty crazy, which I explained in the video why I wasn't able to do those and different things going on. Again, other things outside of my gaming hobby are way more important. And so, you know, sometimes that's how that rolls. We're going to start this mission. As you can see here, briefing here.
We have encountered Gene Stealer hybrids armed with ranged weaponry. They're launching counterattacks against the perimeter, threatening the integrity of the landing zone on the Elethris. Looking at our scan data, the Tech Marines have advised that the hybrids may be able to sever the ship where our squads are currently located, to propel it into the gravity well of the nearby planet. To prevent this, we must disable the propulsion system in this sector. If the enemy succeed, we will be forced to withdraw and return in another costly breaching assault. Precious time and lives will be wasted. The Emperor abhors failure.
Okay, so now we're going to deploy. What I am going to do for this broadcast is I am going to give you all some volume on this, because to me, I think that would be best suited. So we're going to reset the volumes. Okay, it's going to be at 100 all the way around. We got the difficulty set. The game does allow you to play co-op with people online, which is great, up to 2 others, so 3 people. And you do have some skill sets, as you can see here. You earn experience, and you can go command or devotion or however you want to do it. And I picked, I think, devotion to start. And it gives resistant enemy attacks, 10% armor. So there is some light RPG elements. There is a bestiary, so you can look up different enemies that you have already fought, and that helps also more or less a model show, or showing you what the models of the game look like. And they're pretty good. They're pretty well, you know, look like how they're supposed to, like based off the Warhammer 40K, what they're supposed to look like. And now we're going to resume here. You can also, this is your psychic portal here, which takes you back to your ship, and you can go here and outfit your character with different weapons and stuff that you earn in the game. In the early game, you don't have much, and there's 5 relics on the map, and you can collect those. And we're gonna go on through here, this psychic portal here. On this elevator here. They really did a good job on capturing the feel of Warhammer 40K, especially playing the Psychic Librarian.
We have to quickly destroy the Archaeotech engine.
Nothing can be done hastily and prudently, Brother Barricchio. So answers an apothecary.
You can command your guys to heal one another and yourself. You see my sword here. It actually says, "I am steel, I am the mercy." It actually has a quote on there from the Deathwing, which is cool. You can zoom in. It's not like a traditional first-person shooter where you hold the L trigger. The L trigger is going to be your sword there. And this is about as fast as you can run. It's pretty quick, but you do have stamina. About how fast you walk. And this has a very much kind of like a storm.
The Xenos are uncounted!
It's where the Xenos that you fight, they actually, when you zoom in, you have it highlights them. Later on, you'll fight all manner of very large creatures. There's a fair amount of exploration in the game too. And it's always best to be cautious. You guys will attack, which is great. And they're very useful and it's helpful to keep them alive. If you go over here, you can lock it down. And let's see. Gotta remember how to do this. That's not it. That's not it either. Sorry, it's been a minute since I played the game. There we go. Hold down X. Now it's locked and blocked, so they have to hack it to get through there. Strategically, there's a lot of areas on the Eretharos, which is... Let's see what we got. The game really throws a lot of enemies at you, just lots of hordes, so you gotta be like on your toes because they throw a lot at you. And it's a pretty decent looking game too. It's very atmospheric, very claustrophobic.
Heavy stubber detected. Heavy stubber! Warning, missile launcher! Be alert! Heavy stubber!
They kind of went on ahead. I should have killed them to stick around.
Heavy stubber killed. Missile launcher sighted.
Getting hurt. Try to disable that too. Well, interrupt.
No retreat, no surrender. Barricade. Action complete.
Yeah, we stood there like a true dummy. I lost one of my teammates. They're ridiculous. Shows I didn't play this in a long time. Longer. The game does have a tendency, folks, to spawn in lots of enemies, and you don't have a whole lot of moments of it. And, you know, and you would be wise to explore much of the game.
Pray your mercy. Vengeance finds our weapons.
See if the radar's good on it.
Operation finished. The vastness of the Alepharos. It does look like some stuff out there. Warning, missile launcher. Warning, missile launcher. Right. Warning to the centers.
justice acceptable. Destroy the vessels and set place in battle. The lion guides our fury.
We have to prevent the enemy being reinforced from the nests we have just discovered.
Folks, as you can see, I'm playing it on easy. It is not easy in the slightest. And both my men went down, so that is some suck. So I'm going to side gate out of here. Back to the hub. Here we are. Mechanicus. This is your loadout. When you have other things, you can switch to assault cannon if you wanted to, or storm bolter. So if I wanted to switch to assault cannon, unfortunately, I would lose my. But we can go to storm bolter MK2. I can use a power fist or my force sword. I haven't unlocked the force axe. You do get other weapons, such as chainsaw swords and stuff. They are in the game. You're gonna hit confirm. Now I got a new weapon. Shoots faster, which is good. Got my guys here. It's good to side gate back here now. When it gets really bad in the game, you're really gonna rely on that to get healed, and your guys are back too, which is great. So you will be really recommended. And absolutely, folks, it's a great game. It's a lot of fun to play, and I recommend it. Can't block that one, unfortunately. What's interesting about the game too, I've noticed playing the various chapters, that even though the ship generally all kind of looks the same, there's a lot of differences in the ship. Like you can, you know, you can have a different, like you can have a different you'll see the layout and the different rooms, engine room, everything looks exactly how you think it would look. Okay, your guy, because he's psychic, does have visions of things. You can have your guy heal one of your members, but the problem is that I don't remember how to do that to keep your other guys alive. I think you just gotta hit one of the buttons. And we gotta destroy this next. Smash the door though, if I wanted to. If it somehow gets destroyed, the panel.
Every stopper detected.
Folks, I'm playing this on easy. You play this on normal, it is incredibly hard. They do so much more damage. I actually recommend playing the game on easy. There's a little aliens like that. Hurt there. It's very difficult, folks. But, hey, you got to see a little bit of Spacehulk Deathwing for you. It is a little bit easier when you play with your friends, because they can watch your back and do things like that. But Spacehulk Deathwing is, I mean, even on easy, they throw a lot of enemies at you. And a lot of the game should be played more or less defensively and not overtly aggressive. Running into stuff, you're going to run into mobs and hordes, so it's good to take out some things here and there. And it's very difficult to sit there, and it's just hard. It's not an easy game by any stretch. A friend of mine, Corey, and me were playing through it a while back, and it took him like probably a week of playing it every night for several hours to get to where he could get the levels, get things, and replay missions and grind a little bit to get to where he could get further into the game. And you kind of almost have to do that. There's also special missions that you can undertake in the game, which are pretty neat. This is something they added for the enhanced edition here for the PlayStation 4. And I just think for a, it's one of those interesting things. It's a Warhammer game. It's a first-person shooter. And outside of Vermintide and most Warhammer games, as I have shown, are more or less, there's a lot more of the strategy end. Spacehulk and Spacehulk Ascension and Spacehulk Tactics, all three games explore the same subject material. And there's three games all centered around it. But this is actually centered around the Spacehulk stuff.
Your victories aboard the Elethros mean that we can now deploy via teleport. You can now access explored areas of the Elethros from here to complete additional missions.
It's very cool. Look at that, with the light coming through the stained glass. It's just great. Like, they just really encapsulate the feeling of the flowing cathedrals. These Adeptus Mechanicus guys. And areas of the Elethros you've gone to, that's what the special missions are. It lets you replay stuff with different things. This is part of Chapter 1, and you can replay missions and grind and find things that you didn't before. And they set up the parameters a little differently, so it is nice that they did give you that option as well. And Spacehulk Deathwing, it's an interesting title too, because it actually was released digitally, and about 3 months later, 3 months later, it was released as a retail to retail, like you could buy the actual game. And it is odd that they did it that way. I remember having it on pre-order, and I went to my local GameStop, and the manager there, who he's a good guy, he said, yeah, we have a date for it, it just never came out. So I did a little research and emailed the makers of the game and found out that it was only going to be digital, and then retail would come a couple months later. So I got my $5 back, and I ended up buying it on the PS4. And it did not come out at full price. It was a $40 game, so that was pretty neat. Here's your briefing.
Brothers, you're being sent back to the Elethros in order to complete an urgent extra mission. Bring glory to the chapter. For the Lion!
There we are. So these are special mission you go back in and you're doing with different objectives and stuff this time, so it's pretty neat. But I wanted to show you a little bit that's what you're basically going to get into when you play Spacehulk Deathwing. It is not easy, even on the easy difficulty, as I have shown. They a lot of enemies. They can do a lot of damage. I just couldn't remember what the command was to heal your other guys, because you can actually have your other guys, like the apothecary can heal himself, and you can heal the other guy and keep him around, and they just swarm you and swarm you and swarm you. The multiplayer is there. You do have customization. The customization, by the way, this is for characters that you can play in the multiplayer portion of the game. It's really well done models. That's the assault specialty, which is pretty cool. The apothecary. Then you got the tactical specialty, and you got the interrogator chaplain. which is pretty cool. I love that one. It's a really cool model, and the Integrator Chaplain, and these are characters you can play in the multiplayer when you play with other people. They are not there, as far as I know, throughout the main story. But this is basically Spacehulk Deathwing, and I call it the Doom, especially because it does have that swarms of enemies, tight corridors, dark. You're kind of very claustrophobic, which is how the original Dooms were. The newer Dooms still have that, but they're so much more faster paced and has a more way forward way of thinking, where this actually being aggressive is not necessarily the best tactics in this game to do. You should never be overtly aggressive in the game, and you need to do a wait and see and clear mobs out as they come to you instead of you going to them, because they will hit you from all sides and all swarms. The very first chapter, at the very end of the chapter, you basically do 3 waves of just an onslaught of enemies coming from everywhere. So you got to be on your game. I usually die a couple times trying to get to chapter 2 because it's very hard. They throw a lot at you, and you got to be careful and due diligent and zoom in and shoot stuff from as far away as you can. And get them before they get you kind of mentality. But I do love the game because it's a Warhammer game. It's based in the 40k universe that I love, which is just I love the 40k universe. And I will definitely be showing you a state of play with Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr, because they have done so much to that game. Literally, it's just as good as Diablo. Right now, that's available on the consoles. Diablo, it literally has the same level of quality and caliber, because they've done so much to that game since it came out. But this has been Spacehulk Deathwing, and I appreciate you all waiting patiently to see a little bit of gameplay of this. It does kind of play like a traditional first-person shooter with a little bit slightly different controls. You do have some control options and whatnot, but for the most part, it is an excellent game. A lot of fun to play. Play through the headphones. It really helps with the positioning to tell when enemies are coming and stuff, and definitely with the lights down. The game will actually spook you at times, because you just don't know what you're going to be up against, and it's just an excellent atmospheric game with really easy to pick up play kind of controls, but it definitely is not for the faint of heart. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Gaming Roundtable, Warhammer Spacehulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition version 2.43. That's a mouthful, but they have updated it many times since it's come out, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years. I want to say 2 years. It's just really good, and I totally recommendation if you are a Warhammer fan, or you're wanting to get into if you like first-person shooters with a lot of odds stacked against you, this is right up your alley. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please check out Posthuman Guy's Leisure Plays and his podcast, and of course, I can't forget the man, the myth, the Apex Legend, Banlost, playing through this season of Apex Legends on the PC. He's very good. Check him out. Check out Posthuman Guy. Please subscribe to Unpaid Gamers, and please subscribe to the Gaming Roundtable on YouTube there. And we do a little bit of Twitch, a lot more YouTube than Twitch, but we are kind of getting more into doing some more Twitch stuff. And again, I appreciate you all tuning in. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please follow me on the PlayStation Network if you are watching this video. I appreciate all of you all for watching the videos and supporting Unpaid Gamers. Much love to you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Gaming Roundtable. And as always, gamers, good gaming.